Let me make sure that
Oh, we're recording.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
On.
Cool. All right. Hi, everyone. For this next episode of Humans of Tech, as usual, I have my co-friend Kelly with me. And today we have a super special guest, Jon Rogers.
Thank you.
Jon and I had the chance to meet at NASCIO several weeks back. And with our 5 or 10 minute conversation, I had the hairs on my arm tingling because of the passion he kind of shows for his work. And I immediately pounced on him and was like, would you please come on our show? So we are going to shift up the approach this time around. Kelly is going to go ahead and do our normal random question, but we are going to follow up with something a little bit more specific. The Indiana Office of Technology has been doing some transformational work when it comes to the workforce in general. And they've created a program called SEAL, and Jon could probably elaborate momentarily on that. But essentially what they're doing is they're creating on-the-job training where folks are really coming in, learning about IT and getting to change their lives, and at the same time provide much needed workforce in government, which is something that we're all struggling with overall. So with that, Kelly, take over.
All right.
It's exciting.
Yes.
All right. Well, this is a good one. How do you handle failure and setbacks in your career?
Wow. Okay. I'm glad we picked a light one. That's good.
We can
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I really see anything that's a failure more as a learning opportunity, and whether it's small or larger. Obviously, a failure is really just a chance to make a tweak and try something a little differently. If I know that in the government space, sometimes it's challenging to make a case for failure. You want to sort of take your time and get things right and perfect at once. I would rather move forward and try some different things out, provided that it's not like multi-billion-dollar failures. So starting with scope, small, allowing freedom to fail, and credit where credit's due. I've been very fortunate to have leaders who share that philosophy and who have been I don't think the right word is permissive, who have been accepting and encouraging even when things didn't play out the way that we'd like. So I'm a huge fan of failing for learning's sake.
Yep. Well, actually, that's probably a great segue to a question that I had, particularly around the SEAL program that you guys are doing in Indiana. Do you want to share a little bit about that? And then I'm going to ask a quick question.
Yeah, absolutely. So the short version of the story for State Earn and Learn IT is that we, over the course of 12-ish months, reskill citizens here in Indiana from any other occupation into information technology and information security careers. We do it through a blend of on-the-job learning, so being actually embedded in one of our teams, doing the work from day one. And while those folks are on the job, they're also studying during work hours for industry valued certifications, like things in the CompTIA package, like A Plus or Network Plus or Security Plus. But we've also put folks through Microsoft certifications, through Amazon Web Fundamentals. We've done a lot of different things over the course of our 3+ years. And as of today, we've got 42 graduates of the program here within state government. And thank you. And another 6 who are active and who are just crushing every day. It's fantastic finding these great people who want to be here.
So when, the earlier question, you were talking a little bit about failure and learning from failures. When you look back through the lifetime of this program, what would you say you would want to do differently if you had a chance to kind of kick things off from the ground all over again?
Sure. Don't start it during COVID.
Yeah.
our 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 first onboarding day for our first two associates happened to be the governor's executive order go home day. So it changed lots quickly, which we could save for another episode. But I would go back and give myself some grace for starting small. We started as a pilot of just two people, and that gave ourselves the opportunity to fail. If it was going to fail, we could fail at a scale that was not going to be total ruin. I would go back and tell past me that not to worry about the tech learning, because as it happens, if you find really good people who are highly motivated, you can put anything in front of them and they are going to just destroy it. They are great. I would go back and tell past me that you're going to need to focus more on the human psychology of things. These are folks who are going to have to hear time and time again, like, hey, let's talk about imposter syndrome. Let's talk about why you deserve to be here. Let's talk about how this is a great place for you and we are grateful to have you. And more on the psychological piece and the emotional piece, the adaptation to, like, hey, for the first time in my life, for a lot of our folks, they're in a place that actually wants them to be here. It's not a toxic work environment. It's a place that celebrates what they have to give to the organization, and getting them to understand that, like, no, really, it's not a catch. There's no rug to be pulled. There's no trap door. It's okay. We understand it's going to be an imperfect and bumpy road, and we want you here for it with us.
So from what I'm hearing, if we could actually use the things that you learned for any sort of big, juicy, complex problem, some of those 3 big takeaways would be to start small, and I'm going to add words here, but almost celebrate the small components. This is what I got. Not worry too much on the technical components, because if someone has passion and drive, they will find a way. And the most interesting part is really the human psychology component. And it's really putting people first and their emotions first to be able to win the big game.
Spot on.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
John,
put it on the t-shirt.
So much. Yes, put it on a t-shirt. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for jumping on here with us. I think that concludes this episode of Human Success. You're a great human.
Thank you. This was an honor. I appreciate it.